What is going on, YouTube? Thank you again for joining into my channel. Again, remember to like and subscribe. Give me your comments, give me your feedback. All the love is greatly appreciated. So for those of you who have watched my previous video, you know that I purchased the Ducati V4, the standard model, right? And of course, obviously I knew going in, I was gonna get a lot of feedback about why you purchasing your very first bike, and why is it a liter bike and you start with a 250 or 600. Like, I knew that was going to come, okay? Like, it was expected all the way, okay? And I appreciate all the comments. I do. I feel like, almost, in fact, all of y'all came from a great place. I didn't feel like, there was any arguments or beefs. Like, I've watched tons of YouTube videos and I've seen people get on there just to hate, just to throw shade, just to be salty or whatever. And I feel like it was genuine feedback and concern, which is greatly appreciated. And also I saw people, coming into my defense that don't even know me. And of course, being new to YouTube, it's cool to see people kind of jump to your side who don't know you from left or right. So that's pretty cool. So in this video, I do want to go into a little bit of detail on why I felt I was able or ready to purchase this sort of bike for my very first bike. And as I mentioned in my very first video, is because I truthfully feel like it's more about the person than it is per se the bike. And I'll go into details. So before I get into that, I do want to explain a few things. Of course, for those of you who are watching this, notice that I'm in my garage right now. Again, I'm not on the road riding around. You're not seeing with my GoPro on and my helmet and all that whatnot, okay? And there's a very good explanation for that. So YouTube, my reason for why I'm in my garage and not on my bike and all that is for a few reasons. Number one being that this week I caught a bug. So between last week when I picked up my bike and that Sunday after I uploaded the video, I caught a stomach virus or I caught food poisoning. One of the two, which is also why I'm sitting down right now and not standing up and walking around. It just feels better. So for those of you who've had food poisoning or a food virus, it's no joke. Like stomach stuff puts you down. Like, it makes you think about life choices and all of that. Like, it's crazy. So basically I've been fighting that all week long. And I'm slowly on the other side of it, thank God. But this week has been extremely tough, and I haven't put out any content. That's why you haven't seen any videos or me riding. Because we actually had a good day of sun on Monday, which has been a great day for me to ride. But I didn't even want to, after I got home for work, I didn't leave my room. All day Tuesday, I probably walked 20 yards, just because I just wanted to stay in bed. It felt just that bad. I've never felt anything like it in my life. I've played sports. I've had all kind of different things happen, but this is top two for sure. So that's number one. Number two was obviously because I live in the Pacific Northwest, so we get tons and tons of rain. That's number two. Third, which is more so, I guess, number two, is because I didn't have my helmet. So guys, my helmet came in on Wednesday. So when I got my bike, I also purchased a helmet as well, the Shoei RF 1200 in a special color or whatever, and they didn't have my size in stock. Or in fact, they didn't have that color in stock either. So I had to order that helmet from them, and it came in on Wednesday. Now, I could have gone for a ride, early night, late afternoon when it was, when the sun finally creeped back out and the roads kind of dry. But I told y'all I wanted y'all to be there with me through that whole experience. So after I got the helmet, of course, I had to go through the whole trying to mount the GoPro and all that kind of stuff. So that was also why as well. So guys, yeah, as I mentioned before, I finally got my helmet on Wednesday. I think somebody mentioned in the comments about make sure I have all the right riding gear, and I do. Trust me, I'm not gonna be one of those guys out there riding around with some shorts and a tank top and a I don't know, no helmet. Because I know back in Florida when I used to live, you didn't have to wear a helmet or have insurance, which is why there are a lot of deaths for kids around the ages of 18 to 30, because you don't have to have insurance and you don't have to wear a helmet. So, but trust me, I will have a helmet, and I purchased a helmet. And for those of you who follow me on social media know that I did like a little Instagram story feed on like a poll about which helmet. I was gonna go with the Venom helmet or the Black Panther helmet, but when I went into the shop, they suggested I go with this guy instead, better protection for my head. So, and again, we all have our tastes and our personal opinions on what we like and dislike. Yes, I was going for more of the design, but they, suggested to me that this helmet's better for protection. Now, of course, I'm a huge DC Marvel fan, and yes, I do love both. My favorite character is Batman of all. Marvel, it's probably between Gambit's probably second, and Wolverine's probably first. But anyway, I really want those helmets. So I got this guy on Wednesday, like I said before. So I had to order some parts from Amazon to try to get this whole GoPro mount thing situated. So, which I finally did. So officially I could start riding soon. The only thing I haven't tested yet is the audio, which will be next. So here's the helmet. Okay. There's the GoPro. See, guys? See? Looks good, right? A little custom job there, but it stays. So this part is still molding. We'll see if it stays, but at least for right now, I'm gonna have to pull it off. This is a double-sided Velcro, so we'll see. With that being said, guys, if any of you out there see my helmet and want to know how to put a GoPro on a helmet, please leave a comment down below. I will make a video on how to do that because there's not much out there, right? Actually, so my helmet is not a full round helmet. My helmet has a lot of curves and grooves in it, which actually I'll show one more time. For those of you who can't see, if it zooms, it's curved. So yeah, so my process will work. So yeah, guys, my process on my helmet will work on any helmet you got. I've seen those, what are they called? AGV helmets that have like a super narrow nose. Those might be a little hard, but for most helmets out there, this will work on any helmet. I can almost guarantee it. And there's not many videos out there on how to do this. There's a bunch of people jerry-rigging different GoPro mounts and mounting it to the side and hooking it all back around. I didn't want all that. I wanted it very front and center as I could, okay? The only drawback was like the little mount piece of which was a little bit longer out so it could bend the GoPro more angled, but other than that, it's good for now and it works. So yeah, I'm waiting for that to finish its drying thing so I could finally test it with audio. So my next task with that is to drive around in my car actually and put the music up and the air conditioning up and see about the wind noise and the ambient noise to see how well the audio works. Because like I said, when I go for the first ride, I want to be a true experience on my YouTube channel. And there's nothing worse than going out there, hopping on the bike and then talking and can't hear anything. Then I gotta go back and overlay audio over it. I'll wait another week if that means, if it means perfect audio and video, I'll wait one more week. It's not gonna kill anybody. So with that guy being said, next topic. So yeah, that's why I haven't been on the bike all week. That's why I'm still in the garage. Like I said, I'm still recovering. The weather still sucks. It's supposed to be decent tomorrow, but again, I'm still like, I don't want to do much. That's like I said, that's why I'm sitting in a chair. Sitting and not doing much is cool, and also being near a bathroom. That's just reality of it. Like I said, if you have food poisoning or anything like that, you understand where I'm coming from. So what's next? So yeah, getting into why I purchased the leader bike or this powerful bike as my first bike. All right, guys, now trying to get into the meat and potatoes of this conversation. And again, I know it's going to be a massive controversy of back and forth about who's right and who's wrong and all that kind of stuff. I'm not trying to get into all that, but I do want y'all to understand my point of view and where I'm coming from and while I feel like this is a okay thing for me. I am not by all means saying that I can go out there today and go around a corner and drag knee and all that. And I'm not saying that I couldn't drag knee faster on a 250 with more practice than my V4. I'm not saying that at all. What I am saying are things I'm going to discuss right now. So with that being said, I've watched tons of YouTube videos about what is the perfect beginner bike. And most big vloggers out there, that's one of their most watched videos, is what's the best starter bike, or your best beginner bike. Some say 2, some say 6, some say anything you want to, some say none at all, right? And I lean on the side of whatever you want to, because I truthfully believe it comes down to this guy, and 100% this guy, more so than anything else. Because at the end of the day, every bike has these 3 things, or plus the clutch, right? They all have those, all of them. 250, 600, 1000 have all the same instruments and tools in the sense of how you operate the bike. But of course, the difference is going to be how much aggressive are the brakes, how much power, how much response, how much rider aids, less or more, all that sort of thing, right? But at the end of the day, it's still a motorcycle. It's not like this has things on it that make it completely different from a 250, right? They're essentially the same. So my first point is, again, back to the whole YouTube channels, they always, give their top 5 or reasons of why you should or should not start on a leader bike, or 600 or 250 or whatever, okay? And like I mentioned in my comments before, the number one thing people always say first about starting on a leader bike is power. Now, yes, if I took my bike, put it into race mode, cranked up the power too high, and went on the freeway, that's a sketchy situation, and it's going to increase the likelihood in which I crash. That does not guarantee anything. I want to remove guarantees, okay? I want to remove opinion from actual facts. So I'm coming to y'all with factual stuff that I can prove, right? And the rest of it is hearsay or observational or just plain opinion. I am completely fine with anybody having an opinion, because that's why we're human. We can have an opinion. But stating an opinion as a fact, those are 2 different things, okay? What I am stating are actual facts. So, for those of you who don't know, there is a power mode on my V4. It reduces the power to 120 horsepower. So I'm going to put on the page right now a description of every bike, okay? I'm going to put up 250s, okay? I'm going to put up 600s. I'm going to put up 1000s as far as power goes, okay? Now, this is without me having any sheet, okay? I don't have any sheet in front of me. This is me off the top of my head. Your average leader bike is probably somewhere between 170 to 190 horsepower at the rear wheel, not the crank. We're not going crank, we're going at the rear wheel, okay? Your super sports, your 600s are, I'm sure, somewhere between 140 to 160, let's say 130, okay? And 250s, to be honest, I don't know. Again, I'll put it all on the screen. So that's the number one reason people always say, don't start on a leader bike, it's because power. Well, guess what, guys? I can pull the camera off here right now and walk over, and when you turn it on, we can go to the setting and we'll say low power mode. So that's one debunk, okay? So the number one thing people say is it's too powerful. Well, it's not. So that's one. The second, okay guys, and the second thing people say is weight. People say, hey, the 1000 cc's weigh so much, so don't start on a 1000 cc bike because they weigh so much more and it's harder for you to manage it and get it around traffic and U-turns and all that kind of whatnot. Okay, fair point. Now, my bike is one of the lightest 1000 cc's bike. In fact, mine is very close to a 600 weight. So this bike wet is 430 pounds. Okay, you can look it up. Again, these are all facts. It's 436 pounds wet, excuse me. The S model is 430 with the wheels, I'm presuming, and and the bits and pieces that are in it to make it lighter. So that one's $430, mine's $436. And the previous $12.99, I believe, was $420 wet. So I believe the $12.99, now it might have been the S, but was $420, okay? So again, I'll put up weights of thousands, 600s, and 250s. So my bike is one of, or if not the lightest 1000cc bike out there. And my power is less than a 600. So power is less than, and also that means the delivery is smoother, right? So not only is the power down, I also changed the mapping to smoother. So it's a smoother map and lower horsepower. So I'm assuming about equal weight to a 600, and my power is less than that of a 600. So the other thing that people talk about is it's so expensive to fix it. Guys, I feel like there's a point where that becomes irrelevant. Now, I'm not trying to sound cocky, I'm just being honest, okay? If a person bought a Bugatti, you're not gonna talk to him about how much insurance costs. It's irrelevant because he can afford it. He bought a Bugatti, and you know, Bugatti, I said Bugatti. And just for y'all know, I always watch like Funny Car and Driver and Top 10 Facts. It costs like $100,000 a year to insure a Bugatti, the last model. So $100K a year, just in insurance. So, but anyway, back to my point. The point is, guys, I feel like the money part is irrelevant, because if you can't afford to get the bike and you have it, then you can afford it. If you couldn't afford it, you wouldn't have it, right? It's not like I tricked the people at Motor Corsa to get me a bike. Like I walked in and said, oh yeah, I have this much in my account, but actually I don't have, oh, and then they were like, oh sure, take the bike, it's yours. It doesn't work that way, guys. So you have to have the money, or you have to have the credit, or you have to have both. And clearly one of those two, if not both, were the case, because I wouldn't have the bike here if I didn't. And for those of you who still want to question it, I got the bike, I got the Ducati. You know, when I financed the bike, I also got the warranty plan through Ducati, which isn't cheap, guys, just so you know. It isn't cheap. It's over $700 just for the insurance, just for them, okay? I got that. And I got gap coverage. So yeah, that insurance isn't cheap. So yeah, I got the Ducati, the bike, I got the gap coverage, and I got the Ducati, you know, insurance. Not to mention my own personal insurance, obviously, on the bike. And just for y'all know, I got medium high, like meaning that when I went into and I talked to the lady about my insurance, I didn't lowball and go with just the basic to get me in, right? Because I know we as humans do a lot of things where we just barely try to skim in it just to have it. No, I didn't skim by just to get the bike. I fully got the bike. And again, for those of you who did mention that in the comment, you should have watched the full video where I mentioned I also got accessories on the bike. So not only did I get the bike, the insurance, the Ducati insurance, the Gap insurance, I also got accessories, meaning that clearly I was, you know, I'm in a position to own the bike, to have the bike. Which means the point when people talk about it, it's so expensive if you drop it. Well, that's why I have insurance. That's why I purchased it, is for those reasons. And I have it. And again, I purchased additional parts I didn't need. Some were wants, some were needs, right? Like I still want to get a clutch guard. I think that's a need, to me personally, right? This was a want. So those are the three main things people talk about, and all three of those, I have proof that that isn't necessarily the case for me, okay? So that's that part. All right, guys, so my next point. So my next point is, which I think, me personally, is the biggest point, is I think the most important piece on maintaining and owning anything that can potentially kill you is this guy right here. is more important than whatever you own, drive, ride, is because that you can kill yourself in anything if you're stupid enough, right? We can all get on YouTube right now and watch plenty of people do hooligan crap with all sorts of stuff. ATVs, dirt bikes, motorcycles. I watched a guy on a sport bike jump a ramp. Let's be honest. Sport bike and ramp don't equate to anything good. So obviously he crashed it. No surprise there, right? Shocking. Again, it comes down to this right here, right? Now, of course, we've all seen the whole thing about Mustangs and crowd killers. I'm gonna use this as an example, okay? Why I personally feel like a Mustang is, or viewed as more of a crowd killer, is because it's a more obtainable, powerful vehicle or tool that people don't practice or gain experience in, and then go out there and floor it and press the gas and end up injuring people, okay? That just goes to show it doesn't, yes, it's the power, but it's more about the person than it is necessarily the power. We're not talking about Ferraris killing people because people can't afford it. If people could afford Ferraris every day, there'd be a lot more deaths because it'd be going a lot more faster and killing itself a lot quicker, okay? And I believe no matter which bike you start on, if you don't have the mental capacity to understand your limits, to understand when you can't push it, to understand where that threshold is between skill and limiter brake, then yes, you will injure yourself. And like I said in my video, I am absolutely in no rush to go anywhere. Like someone said, you know, you could crash it. And I said, yeah, that may be true, but what if I'm the kind of person who just wants to commute? Like literally get on my bike and drive my 6-mile non-highway commute, stoplight traffic to work for the next 5 years. Not a single curve, not a single pull of the throttle. Then there's no argument, right? Because at that point, there's nothing changing between a 250 and 1,000, right? And again, that only comes into play with power and weight, which we've already debunked. So if you're just doing your normal mundane things, what really are you separating? What's really the separating factor between my 1,000 and a 250 in stop and go traffic? Nothing. There are no differences, right? Obviously, mine might be harder to feather the throttle. It might get a little hotter, but the point that I'm sure y'all can understand is at its core, it's the same. Now, if we're talking about getting on the twisties and leaning over and all that kind of stuff, and again, yes, you're increasing your likelihood of potential accidents. But again, I don't plan on pushing myself anytime soon. And when I say any, I don't mean in the next week. I don't mean in the next month. I don't mean it even in the next year. That's what I'm saying. If somebody right now is watching this video and you live in, Oregon, and you're like, hey man, let's go for a ride next month up in the hills, I'm gonna tell you no, I'm not going. You'll find me in a parking lot somewhere. You'll find me down an empty stretch of road practicing. That's where you'll find me because I'm in no rush to prove my, have a pissing contest. Guess what, guys? What is the most cause, I believe, or probably one of the top 3 causes of motorcycle accidents? Where is it caused? Group rides. Why do group rides cause so many accidents? Because so many people are riding above their own personal threshold of skill level, testing their limits. They're testing that limit and they're breaking it. Therefore, they're falling, right? Or crashing or whatever else, or running into somebody, or just doing crazy, dumb stuff, okay? Right? So, and again, that doesn't matter if it's a 250 or a 600. If you push it on any bike, it can kill you. It's not a toy, guys. And I don't view this as a toy. I think, and what's funny is a lot of those people who say don't start on 1,000 are the ones doing all that hooligan crap on the freeway. That's what I think is so funny. Me personally, maybe I'm just crazy, But go watch some of the people who say do not start on a leader bike and look at their type of videos. Well, no crap. Of course not. Because there's no way I can be doing a wheelie down the freeway for 2 miles. Yes, I will crash. Of course. I can't drag knee up and down the canyons. Of course. Hey, I'm not doing endos and stoppies and stuff on the freeway. So yes, I'll crash. Is it ever the sensible person who's just a commuter saying, hey man, I don't think you start on a leader bike. I'm just saying. I'm sure there's some out there, but majority of them are these kind of riders who test the limits. So what they're doing is they're taking their own thought process on how they think, and they're insecting that into me and saying you can't ride because of how I think. And that to me is bull. That's what pisses me off. I'm gonna be honest. I don't like people like that because that isn't fair to me. Don't input your thought on me because how you think. So many of us, anytime anybody says anything they're gonna do in life, we instantly think, if I was in the situation, I would do A, B, and C. So they'd probably do A, B, and C. So no, you shouldn't do that. Guys, I'm not Joe Bob. I'm not John. I'm not Mark. I'm not Stacy. I'm not Anna. I'm me. And I'm the kind of person who's always been safe, always been cautious, always asking the same question 10 times to make sure he gets it. I'm the one who wants to make me, I take 10 more tries just to make sure I got it. I'm the double checker, triple checker. That's me. I'm the guy who hates anything that's in trendy. I dislike it. If you tell me right now, cargo pants are in, you will not see me in a cargo pants just because I hate following trends. I hate following crowds. That's been me since day one. Guess what, guys? When I was in school back in the 4th grade and elementary and all that, I wasn't at the cool guys table. Not because I didn't play sports with the cool kids. It was because I didn't have to feel like I had to be around cool kids to be cool. Do you follow me? See, my thought process is different. Therefore, I think different. Therefore, my choices are different. And by the grace of God, I've stayed out of a lot of trouble because of it. So a bike to me is the same thing. I'm getting something that is risky, but with my mindset, I'm reducing the amount of risk because of a type of person that I am. See, I want to break this down to a more molecular level. Like, people are so surfed with this about power and all that. No. It's much, much deeper than that. Okay? I've avoided accidents in my car simply because I am I'm always thinking 6 steps ahead. Now, I'm not saying that, all this equates to a bike, but what I'm saying is just showing how I think, right? I'm always thinking 4 or 5 steps ahead, so that keeps me out of certain dangers and troubles, okay? Who say, hey, get a 250, then when you practice enough, then get a 600, and when you get used to that, get 1,000. People must think money grows on trees, like I can just buy 3 bikes. And then what about life, right? I got sick this week. For all I know, I've yet to go get tested. I pray to God, but I might have something that's actually bad, right? And so many people talk about, oh yeah, you have all this life to live. Guys, you have today. You have today. You have right now. You have this second. As you're watching this video right now, you don't have 20 years to live. You don't have 30 years to live. What I mean is that you can't guarantee that. There's only one person who knows that, and that's God. No one else knows that. You can't speed it up. You can't change it. You can't alter it. I don't care much plastic surgery. I don't care many doctor visits. I don't care many, acupuncture. I don't care if the doctor says, oh, we didn't know you would last 5 more days or 2 more years or 20 more years. We thought you'd be dead tomorrow. Yeah, your doctor's shocked, but God isn't. God knew that was going to be your day, or God knew that wasn't going to be your day. When I get on my bike or get in my car, there's a day out there marked with my name on it that I'm going to pass from this earth and eventually be forgotten. It could be today, it could be tomorrow, it could be 20 years from now. I don't know. But I'm not gonna live my life in this safe cocoon bubble of don't do anything because all the reasons say not to. Because guess what? When I'm on my deathbed, I can't blame YouTube for it. I can't blame you. I can't blame her. I can't blame anybody but myself for not doing whatever it is I felt I wanted to do. And I told myself before as long as God blessed me with the hands and the feet and the body, I wanted to own my dream bike. And I've done it, right? I think people miss that point. Like, y'all missed that. Whether or not I crash it, I've done it. Whether or not I get to ride it up and down the street one time and flip it over, I've done it. I have purchased my dream bike on my own and I have ridden it. At its core, I've done it. Now, how many of y'all sitting there can say that about whatever it is? Now, this isn't a jab at anybody, but I just want you to understand where I'm coming from. I'm coming from a person who understands that life on this earth isn't forever. And it's not guaranteed. And I'm not going to take it for granted. I used to always hate that whole kid saying of YOLO, you only live once or whatever. But part of it, I starting to lean back toward. You only live once, meaning you only have this one life, guys. If you're 20, if you're 30, if you're 80, you only have this one life. Once it's gone, there is no comeback and reincarnation and retry. There's not. I am right now getting to do what I dreamed about doing. Whether I get no views, no comments, or no subscribers, I'm doing what I've watched thousands of people do. And I'm doing it in front of the bike that I dreamed about. And I walked through the door that God opened. And I'm very grateful and honored to be doing it. But this is why I'm here. It's not per se for the bike, but to get people who are watching this off your butt and think about the things in your life that you want, that you truthfully desire, right? And going after them, because you don't have a moment to lose. Because tomorrow you might get a little cough and the doctor might pull you in the office and say, hey man, you got X, Y, and Z and you got 6 months. Now I guarantee you, if I told you you had 2 years to live, and I gave you if I gave you $1 billion and said, hey, you have 6 months to live. You got 6 months. I guarantee you somewhere in there, you're gonna buy something that's gonna be a very risky purchase, a bike, a Ferrari, or whatever you're gonna do, and you're gonna risk it because you're gonna look at it as, well, I'm already gonna die anyway. Now, again, don't get off track. Follow me. I'm not saying I'm out here trying to risk my life. But the point is, I'm also not living my life as I'm trying to save it. So are two different things. I cherish life, and I do things that gonna keep my life going longer in a sense of healthier, right? Because let's say God says I'm gonna live till I'm 50. Well, I can make that an easier 50 by not smoking and drinking and drugs, right? If my death date is November 12th, 2055, it's going to be November 12th, 2055. I can't change it. I can't alter it. I can't flip it. I can do things to help myself, right? There are certain things that I have control over. If I'm out there doing dumb stuff and I lose a limb, that's not God's fault. I was doing dumb stuff and lost a leg or whatever. But so many people are trying to live life trying to hold on to it. It's going to come, guys. I'm not trying to be this bearer of bad news or turn this into a very sad drum video, but death is coming for all of us. And I'm tired of living life based on what people think I should and shouldn't do. At the end of the day, they're not dying next to me, and they're damn sure not gonna be like, hey man, I wish I could have been there with you, man. I would have let you buy the bike or whatever else. So if I'm not, you don't. Whatever is out there that you want, go after it. And again, appreciate it, respect it, take it slow, you know, make sure you do all your research and all that kind of stuff. But the point I'm trying to drive home is that too many of us are trying to live these lives as if like we're trying to hold on. I'm not trying to hold on to life because it's going to end. It's going to end. So I'm trying to live life, right? This is me living. If I commute every day and never take it over 4,000 RPM, I'm living because I'm doing it on what I wanted to do. I was able to afford it. I took the risk and I did it, right? That's all I'm saying. So don't be mad at me or tell me I'm dumb because I'm choosing to live my life and take, I won't say take a chance, but I'm choosing to live my life and live it while you're choosing to be safe in it. Because when you die, you can't take any of it with you anyway. So that's that. On my last point, I guess, is also my age. Now, I'm not saying age means everything, but guys, I am 30 years old. And again, I've never been the person of trying to compete with anybody. I didn't buy this bike to middle finger to 250s. I didn't buy it to middle finger to 600s. I know people talked about in my comments about being overtaken by 250s in the curves. I don't give a crap. I don't care if I'm out cruising on the road, up in a canyon somewhere, going 40 miles an hour, and a guy in a 250 passes me with his knee leaned over and looks back and laughs. I don't honestly care. Because also, like I said in my video, guess what? Yeah, he probably outleaned me in the corner. Yeah, his skill set's probably higher than me. But you know what I would like to bet? He would take away some of that skill set and trade bikes. Just saying. And again, I'm not trying to be a dick about it, but I'm saying, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not here to compete with people of the world. I'm just not. I'm here to do Thomas. That's what I'm here to do. I'm here to do what I like. Like one day, I would love to be able to take a Formula One car around a track. If any Formula One person who has a connection is watching this, that's bucket list like number one-ish too. Like I have two things I'm fighting for that. That and then being able to be flown up in a fighter jet. Like those are my two bucket lists, and going like Mach 2 and like, you know, and being able to like me have like the joystick and like me pull back and actually be the one doing the flip. A happy man for the rest of my life. I can die happy. Those two things, right? Formula One, car, and fighter jet. Okay, and I'd be happy. But yeah, that's something I would love to do one day. Guys, I think that covers pretty much everything I want to cover. And again, thank you for all the support. Thank you for all the comments. I do greatly appreciate them. Okay. And I greatly appreciate everybody's like insight and feedback. Because again, maybe I'm wrong, but I believe if this video got like 1 million views, there would be a lot of hate. Like most of mine was pretty much positive, just like more like, hey, are you sure you're ready for this? But most of it was positive, I feel like, where I didn't get all the hate. Like all the people I see just go on videos just to throw shade, period. Like I didn't see any of that. So I thank y'all for that. Thank you for your continued support. Please subscribe, please comment. And again, once things clear up, I will be riding my bike. Y'all will be there to witness all of it, all of that. And again, I will be taking it safe, okay? Taking it slow. I'm in no rush to hop on a freeway, back road, or anything. Like I said, I'm in no rush. I have it now, all right? That was the part that was, for me, was the rush, was like trying to get it. Like now that I have it, I'm in no rush. Yes, I want to be able to make sure I get content for you. Oh, that's the next thing. So for those of you who see, obviously on my channel, I have gaming and bike stuff. So if y'all didn't watch my first video, I mentioned that for my channel, I'm going to be doing video games, you know, of course, bike stuff, and then some tech reviews. I'm doing all three. Now, some might say, well, I want an all bike channel, or some might say, well, I want an all gaming channel. guys, the reality is that both of those are season based. Now, if you watch, not counting streamers or people who make a living out of this, but for most people, like if you watch your favorite moto vlogger, right? What do they do between the months of October to January or November to February? What do they do? What's their content like? Is it good quality? Is it clickbait? Are they just making stuff just to make stuff? You see what I'm saying? Like now, I'm not bashing any YouTuber. The point I'm making is I watch these people too, okay? And I noticed that their good quality content is when they're able to actually use the thing they bought, right? If you buy a sport car like a Ferrari and you're vlogging about it, you can't do much in December. And if he's on an ATV, that's not the same as the Ferrari. So that's like me gaming. Yes, he's on a motor vehicle, but it isn't the Ferrari you were trying to watch or you tuned in for, something different. He's trying to make content that's still relevant. And the issue is yes, I love the bike and I want to, do a lot of vlogging stuff and bike stuff and go, seeing the scenery, because like Oregon has great summers and y'all will get to see them through the GoPro and through the drone. So I'll have some great footage and all that stuff coming out once we get into the summer months. But the point is, come October and November, when it rains, like it does in every state but Cali, what do, right? And most people now are starting these Patreon series. I'm not knocking Patreon series. I'm just saying, just look at it, right? When are they typically doing Patreon series? During the times of month when they can't make other content, right? So the point I'm making is they're finding ways to stay relevant when they don't have the thing to stay relevant. So they're finding other alternative ways. So for me, I don't want to reach to make content in November. I don't want to have clickbait in December about something about a bike, right? I don't. I want to be good quality content. And if I have a gaming channel as well, I'm still making content. You're still getting notified. You still know I'm alive. We can still have conversations. It just won't be on the physical bike. That's why I have both. And plus, of course, I love video games because video games is predominantly a winter thing. Most games come out between October to January. So in the months where it's snow or it's rain, guess what? You might get one video in that month about a bike something, or just me answering questions about the bike or bike stuff, right? And all the rest will be video game stuff. But my channel is still pumping out content, and that's the important thing, is getting content out there. Because I can always make a video about us having a conversation about questions y'all might have for me, right? Whether it's going over how to make a helmet and your GoPro, or clean up. Anybody that think I'm trying to come at anybody or be aggressive or angry, I'm just trying to have a more sensible, in-depth conversation about something that people want to have a very surface level conversation. Because if it's surface level, then there is no argument. That's kind of my point, right? If we're talking surface level about weight and power and all of that, there's no question, right? Because this debunks that, right? But I think it truly is more so about the person and the rider and the experience and all of that and their skill set than it is per se which motorcycle that you start on. And I'm not by any means saying that my skill level couldn't increase faster on a 250. That's not what this is about. All I am saying is that doesn't mean it can't. That doesn't mean my experience can increase. That doesn't mean it can't get better. That doesn't mean that I can't improve just as easily. Is there a percentage chance? Maybe. Is that a question mark? Sure. But just because I have a leader bike doesn't mean I can't learn on it as quickly and as fluently as a 250. It's more about me as a personal rider, okay? And with that being said, thank you for cooling with Jay.